Hey everybody, welcome to our update. Today a little different. We had a pretty big clinic yesterday, so we moved it to Tuesday. Today is March 2nd, 2021. Before we get into some of the COVID news, I got a little bit of an announcement with school districts and sports. It was quite a busy night. I want to say a thank you to our sheriff staff and our first responders. 8 to 11:30 was a bit chaotic. We had some snow squalls, we had 12 accidents and 8 trees down, and it seemed like the Glen Mohawk area was the area that was affected the most. Nothing too crazy, nothing that everyone can't handle, but definitely got a little gnarly last night, and with the wind and everything. So, glad everybody's okay and everybody stepped up like always. So, just want to say thank you to our team there. In regard to the COVID issues, the cases, and the vaccine, actually a lot of really good news to report today. Really starting to feel some light at the end of the tunnel. Um, right now, our 7-day rolling average is 3.7%, which is under that 4%, which is nice. Is where we would like to be. And actually, for the first time in 2021, we were under 100 cases for the week. If you remember going back over the previous few weeks, we were at, in the beginning of January, it was up around 400. Now, just a few weeks ago, we were at 150, then down to 138, then 107 last week, and this past week, we only had 80 cases. So that is certainly things heading in the right direction. As I said, the 7-day rolling positivity rate is 3.7%, which is good. Yesterday was 3%, so that is certainly very, very good news as we hopefully shed this, very cold, windy weather and start to, look to enjoy spring and eventually summer. In regard to the vaccine, as I've done a number of TV interviews trying to get the word out. Actually, finally, I'm starting to get more vaccine in. We had 400 doses was our allotment this week, and now we have not only the Moderna and the Pfizer, which we have started to get the Pfizer. You have the Johnson and Johnson that's coming down the pike. So, in some of the correspondence with the state over the past, towards the end of last week and Monday, we're going to be able to request, much larger amounts, and it does appear that the supply is there to actually fulfill those. So that is really good news. The wait list is still very large. We are going to be doing, we had one yesterday with 300 doses, a smaller one today with 40 doses, in which we utilized some doses that were given to us from St. Mary's. I wanted to make sure that they got in people's arms, and then looking like Thursday in the western part of the county, and we're working off the wait list to schedule folks for that. So really, when you look at it, very positive news, and starting to really feel that there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Now I know for those that are still on the wait list, or maybe dealing with some tough issues, it may not feel that way, but I've just been encouraging everyone to hang in there. And we're coming up on about a year since we've been doing this, and it's certainly been a roller coaster in a lot of ways, and a lot of ins and outs, a lot of different issues to deal with over that time. But we've really come together and have persevered, and now we're starting to really feel like, I certainly feel like the worst is behind us, and starting to see things like visitation in nursing homes. You're starting to see, at least in other states, lift restrictions on restaurants. I think, certainly if things keep trending the way they are, that's something that's a good idea. And, really start to revisit how we're going to transition back to normal life, which is a great segue for, just had a call, number of calls actually on Friday and this morning with the superintendents. Volleyball, soccer, and football are a go to start in March. And the good news there is for outdoors, they are going to be able to have spectators. I believe it's going to be 2 per athlete, and that athlete will be given 2 passes that he or she can distribute to whoever they would like, which was really, I think, again, the more we can get back to normal and start to do these things, whether you're visiting someone at a nursing home or you know, uh, someone's daughter's getting on the soccer field for the first time in a long time. That's very exciting. And actually, the silver lining for me a little bit today, just one of those small little things was, it does appear that even wrestling is going to get a couple matches. I know it's not, what everyone was hoping for, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. And, I had a nice talk with Nick Fitzgerald um, and Kennedy Harry, and was happy to hear that. I know we have one wrestling mom that's probably going to be pretty excited about that. So that's where we're at. And with sports, again, it's the passes, the indoor. There's still going to be no fans, but similar to what we've done, for senior nights and things like that, trying to create a special moment for the parents. I know the school district wants to work on that, and I do believe they will. You might see slightly reduced seasons, but they still will be a good, they're not getting chopped by, into a third of what they were. But I do think you'll see those schedules reduced a hair. But so volleyball, soccer, and football are good to go. So that's good. Just one other note, actually two other quick notes. I did get a couple calls just looking for update on religious guidance. Hasn't changed a whole lot, especially with Easter coming up. A few of the churches have reached out. There's still a lot of the basic protocols that we've seen in the past: 50% capacity, and the 6 feet distance, and 12 feet with singing and such. So, if anybody wants to, if has any questions about that, always feel free to let me know. And also, we did get an email today. And it's actually a good idea. We're finding as the staff in public health and even staff in my office is going through and making calls on the wait list. There's certainly a number of people that have already got it. You certainly don't have to, but if you want to call and let us know that you are on the list and can be taken off, that certainly would not hurt. But like I said, those calls are being made right now. We've been getting a lot of calls into the office, people that are in tough situations and things of that nature. And even today, I talked to an owner of Subway. I've talked to another company that does, was looking for their workers who drive cement trucks. So we're trying to accommodate these requests as best as we can and try to help people out. And we're going to continue to do that. And, right now I feel really good about the way things are going. It's certainly been tough. It's been a long road, but I really do feel where the worst is behind us. So that's my update for today. Sarah is down at a clinic, and I know the sheriff was real busy, so I told him that feel free to let me take this one solo, and we'll see what kind of questions we have. Have we got questions today, Morgan?
When we start getting in the Pfizer and Moderna, can people choose which vaccine they receive?
So it will depend on when the clinic is set up and what clinic you're being registered for. And that will be a public health decision. The one thing, I actually just had this discussion with Channel 6 because we've been getting that. Really, all of them do the job. I know some people have preferences, but I would say, if the clinic you're being registered for that day is maybe not the one you wanted, it's probably a good idea to still do it. But again, a personal decision. But when you get a call from public health, they will let you know what shot it is, and then you can make that decision at that point.
Where will the Johnson & Johnson shot be distributed?
Well, it'll be distributed. We'll eventually get it. We haven't gotten it yet. We've just gotten the Pfizer and the Moderna. So, we still have yet to receive it, although we do have the ability to request it.
Do you have any information about pharmacy vaccine qualification? Local pharmacies are advertising for 65 plus. How about healthcare workers? They are in the A grouping too.
So this person is a healthcare worker?
I think they're just stating that. I'm not really sure if they are a healthcare worker.
Oh, so so the pharmacies have been doing 65 plus. The hospital has been handling healthcare workers, and we've been asked to prioritize essential workers and are trying to do 65 plus. However, we can squeeze them in, and that's the way it's been working. But this week, and I think moving forward, we've been given more flexibility with the 65 plus, and given the fact that we've had additional supply. So To have 400 this week is an increase, and I expect it to likely increase the amount of allotments as well as the amount of clinics that are happening. But just so you know, you're aware, the pharmacies, they get their shipment directly and then they handle their registration. So it's done independent of the county. However, we have been having some conversations with some local organizations as well as pharmacies on all partnering up, and hopefully we'll be able to, put some of those plans into action in the coming weeks.
And that person was a healthcare worker.
Okay, so if the healthcare worker has not gotten the shot, they should call St. Mary's Hospital. And if they have any difficulty there, to give our office a call, and we'll do what we can to help.
When can visitors go into St. Mary's Hospital? We need to see our family members.
That wasn't a topic on the call this current week. I'm not sure. I know it's been a challenge all over. I do see those restrictions, loosening at some point. I'm not sure what policy changes they've made there. I'll ask that on my call next week and provide an answer at the next week's briefing.
Any thoughts on what we can expect for graduation ceremonies?
Graduation, well, it'll depend on where we are. I mean, what time of the year is that, Rick? June? All right, so June, I imagine it'll be a little different than last year. I think, outdoors, again, this is just speculation based on where we've been. I think outdoor ceremonies and outdoor gatherings will be a little bit less restrictive as they were in the past. And I think you're still going to see some restrictions on indoor gatherings, but I think a lot of it depends on where that positivity rate is. If we're under a 1% positivity rate, I think, and certainly I think there's been a lot that's been learned. I don't think the state is going to have such heavy-handed restrictions. So, there's a lot of variables that go into it, but I don't think it's going to be as difficult as it was last year.
Any comment on the Gazette article about Montgomery County having the highest per capita death toll outside of the city?
When was that in the Gazette? I don't remember
Saturday.
seeing it. Was it on Saturday? I'd have to see. Again, Montgomery County has one of the oldest populations in the entire state. So I imagine that would have a lot to do with it, and that's certainly what COVID has hit hardest. So, but I'd have to check the details on that. I think certainly not, you don't enjoy hearing that, but I would guess that has part of the reason why.
What would happen if someone didn't want to receive a shot?
So it's a personal choice. Nobody's mandated to do it. So if someone doesn't want to have a shot, then that's their decision, and that's it. There's a lot of people that are in that camp. Not as many as I thought, but I think there's been more of a willingness to get the vaccine than a lot of us expected.
I did send out a text to public health, but you might know, Matt. If someone tests positive for COVID, how long afterwards do they have to wait to get their vaccine?
Oh geez, I think it was.
I thought it was 30.
Is it 30 days?
7 days.
Yeah, we'll double check on that, but I maybe post it later. But yeah, and that's actually one of the things that is happening behind the scenes. There's a lot of policy discussion on some of these changes, whether it be travel or if you are vaccinated and you had a close contact. There haven't been policy changes yet, but I can say that the public health directors within the region are talking about it and looking to make revisions, as well as talking with the state and federal government about their guidance in that regard. I know a lot of people are itching for spring travel and things of that nature, and there's some frustration out there. I do expect some things to change, but we don't know exactly what yet. Think we're good?
That's where we're at, yeah.
All right, folks. Well, it's a pretty positive update today. Certainly like where we're trending, and as always, if you have any questions in the meantime, shoot us an email, send us a message, and we'll do our best to get back to you. And hopefully everybody enjoys their week. So stay safe, and we'll see you next Monday, right, Morgan? We'll see you then. Thanks.